If there were no large number of sheep, what would wolves eat? If there were no large number of poor people, what would the rich eat? The rich raise their children, making them proficient in human nature and power schemes. Meanwhile, the poor raise their children, only knowing to enroll them in supplementary classes and daily skills. No matter how well your child dances, it's only for the rich to enjoy the entertainment. No matter how high your child's grades are, they're just a cog in the machine of a corporation, toiling day and night for the rich. No matter how many skills your child learns, their way of earning money as adults is like a girl serving customers all day. Only serving customers brings money. As long as they don't serve customers, there's no money. The rich understand people. They are the madams, controlling a large number of prostitutes, taking everything from the sheep to profit themselves. They have money, whether they're customers or not. Meanwhile, you and your children become the sheep of the rich. What I'm saying may be hard to hear, especially not easy to accept. So please remember, read until the end to grasp the ancient art. Greetings to all of you. Let me tell you how the lower class is hunted. Anything that satisfies you at first will ultimately make you suffer. Likewise, anything that makes you suffer at first will ultimately lead you to glorious success. Those who truly understand this world use suffering to cultivate themselves. The things that make you feel pain right now, like morning exercise, jogging, reading, gym workouts, yoga, and so on, will help you achieve long-term progress. But all of those things require people to have self-discipline, a burning desire to advance, and strong self-control. Bitter medicine cures illness. Harsh truth offends. In life, endure bitterness first to enjoy sweetness later. If you taste sweetness first, bitterness will follow. That is the law of balance in this world. When you train, it's exhausting. When you wake up early, it's uncomfortable. When you strive, it's painful. When you hear the truth, it's unsettling. But it's true that the things that make you suffer are what help you rise above others. There's a trending question online: what ability is very important, but most people lack? Among many prominent answers, one word stands out: self-discipline. Self-discipline, as the Greek philosopher Plato once said, is a form of restraining pleasures and desires. In my view, there's no such thing as self-discipline in this world. It's all nonsense. Self-discipline to earn money is just a reaction of self-inflicted suffering when life pushes you into a corner. Self-discipline to lose weight is just a reaction of self-inflicted suffering when the weight of your body pushes you into a corner. Self-discipline to exercise is just a reaction of self-inflicted suffering when illness pushes you into a corner. Self-discipline is just a reaction of self-inflicted suffering when competition pushes you into a corner. And you, are you living too comfortably? Of course, that comfort is just an illusion before your eyes. When the COVID pandemic hit, there was a popular joke online. After a month-long break, on the first day back at work, sitting in front of the computer, I couldn't remember the startup password, completely forgetting what my job was. At first, when I heard this story, I just found it funny. But upon reflection, the thing that can destroy a person the fastest is actually two words: comfort. A few days ago, a fan messaged me. He talked about his anxiety and chaos. In the period before, his company had officially resumed work, but his work performance was terrible, constantly making mistakes, and because of that, he was criticized by his boss. It turned out, during the pandemic, he played games all night, went into hibernation mode during the day, living completely without any routine, making his condition terrible. So, after returning to work, it was hard for him to regain a normal state. By the end, he realized and said, "Indeed, indulging in pleasure will ultimately demand a greater price to compensate." His words made me think for a long time, reminding me of another friend of mine. At the start of the lockdown, she watched news, movies, and played games. Later, she realized she couldn't continue to let herself go like that, so she started reading, writing, and learning new skills. She recognized that it's better to work hard to improve herself than to lie there wasting time in comfort all day. I strongly agree with one of her sayings. Movies will never run out, games will always have new versions, but wasting today's time will be harshly punished by the future. Some say a long break changed everything. Staying at home every day truly destroys oneself. What pollutes the soul is often excessive indulgence. Most people have a heart that seeks the truth of the Buddha's teachings, but in the end, they often leave their bodies in Gao Lao Zhuan. The normal state of most people is a phase of fiery enthusiasm, but it's only temporary. Most of the time, they just live off others. They can't stand their current situation, but lack the ability to change it all. Lazy like pigs, yet unable to calmly accept being pigs. Remember, if you don't start now, the change you want will never happen. The writer Stephen Gree shared his own experience. Initially, he planned to do 30 minutes of crunches, but he couldn't complete it all. Then, he changed his plan to just one crunch to try it out. No surprise, he managed to do it. But because the mental burden was reduced, in reality, he didn't just do one, but many more. After a while, the habit was formed. Even when it wasn't time to exercise, he still persisted with crunches. In fact, many things in life are like that. Start by doing it for 3 minutes, then evaluate whether you can do it or not. If you still can't do it, I can only say that life hasn't slapped you hard enough, hasn't caused you enough pain. In other words, when you're truly in pain, it hasn't arrived yet. But the masters, they all have the ability to foresee the future, to see the suffering that may come. So they act right now. Meanwhile, most people can only see what's in front of them. They're used to observing the world with their eyes, only seeing the present. With eyes, you must use thinking to see the future. All the successful people I know live every day in a state of self-torment through work. The good thing is, they are full of confidence in the future every day. Is there any suffering greater than ignorance about one's future? This kind of self-torment will eventually become a conscious habit, then become confidence ingrained in their bones, ultimately achieving financial freedom. The writer Hemingway has a famous saying, "There's nothing noble in being superior to others. True nobility lies in surpassing your own self. Believe me, the stricter you are with yourself, the better life will be to you." Next, let's talk about the paradise of a strong culture and the hell of a weak culture. The reason strong people become strong is because they believe in the principle of this world. There's only one principle, the law of the jungle. Those who don't understand the law of the jungle can watch a few episodes about the animal world. I believe you'll understand that the world of humans and the world of animals share the same trait. The strong devour the weak. Here, there's no place for emotions, no reasoning, not even right or wrong. When a wolf wants to eat a sheep, does the sheep explaining morality, right and wrong, or emotions to the wolf do any good? Will the wolf be punished for eating the sheep? The wolf eating the sheep is the law. It's fairness. If you're a sheep, you must be eaten by the wolf. That's what's reasonable and just. Those who belong to a strong culture follow this objective principle. Therefore, they're not bound by worldly judgments or morality, nor by the emotions of children or love. They gallop on the gray path, striving to become wolves. Because they understand clearly, if they live like sheep, their loved ones, friends, and lovers around them might also become wolves. Meanwhile, a weak culture is a dependent culture, rationalizing all their outcomes by blaming external causes. Ancient folk culture, following the way of the heavenly sun, is a culture of waiting for a savior to rescue them. In other words, waiting for pie to fall from the sky. The flaw in traditional ideology lies in the word rely. At home, rely on parents. Outside, rely on friends, rely on God, rely on Buddha, rely on kings. In short, as long as there's something to rely on, anywhere will do. As long as they don't realize that, in fact, you can only rely on yourself. But the strong are always lonely. They don't trust anyone. What's called socializing doesn't exist in the eyes of the truly strong. Their interactions are only for the purpose of gaining benefits. If there's benefit, there's emotion. If there's no benefit, there shouldn't be emotion. Do you find this hard to accept? This is the innate cultural trait within you, controlling your perception and judgment. If, while reading this, you feel unable to accept it in your heart, it means your cultural trait belongs to a weak culture. Don't rush. I'll discuss what cultural traits are and why they control you. back to the saying, there's benefit, then there's emotion. This is the law, the objective truth. Whether you accept it or not, it still exists there. I know you'll say that you're good to your parents without any benefit in mind. But if your parents had 10 billion dong in assets, and they'd leave it all to you if you took care of them daily, would you treat them 10 times better than you do now? Let me ask you further. Right now, do you treat your children or your parents better? Why do you treat your children better? Let me ask you more. Did you have children for your own joy or for your children's joy? When they grow up, you'll tell them, your parents gave birth to you and struggled to raise you, so you must be filial to them. It sounds very noble, but what's the truth? You gave birth to them for your own joy. You raised them for your own joy. Whether you admit it or not, when you brought them into this world, did anyone ask for their opinion? Then you demand they be filial to you in old age, also for your own joy, right? You gave birth to them for your own joy. You want them to be filial, also for your own joy. Beyond the selfishness of your own joy in giving birth to them and demanding their filial piety, how much true emotion is there? Perhaps by now, you can't accept it anymore and think I'm a cruel, heartless person, right? Well, let me tell you, those who belong to a strong culture all think this way, because they accept the law, and the law itself is very cruel. All lasting emotions are because of lasting benefits behind them. The only difference is I dare to admit it, but you don't. Most people around you won't admit this, and may even angrily refute it. That's correct. A weak culture and a strong culture are completely opposed. A weak culture believes that emotions outweigh benefits, spending days studying emotions, valuing greetings. But in the end, when there's no benefit, emotions end too. Then they start crying, lamenting to the heavens, saying they met evil people, met bad wolves. Then they blame the heavens, blame friends, but never blame themselves. In a family, whoever becomes the victim represents the useless one, or in other words, the trash. The strong won't give others a chance to hurt them. Most people can't accept a strong culture because they believe in universal values, believe in the inherent goodness of human nature, believe in the saying, do good, receive blessings. But all those are just idealized thoughts. The truth of reality is often cruel, heartless, like a little rabbit in a forest full of venomous snakes and beasts, seeing a blooming patch of flowers and imagining it's a beautiful garden. Whereas paradise, the weak will never have a chance to reach that place. Meanwhile, the strong live in paradise every day. If you've read this far, I'll give you an extremely valuable skill that everyone desires. The advanced skill of reading people, understanding human nature. I divide people into 4 types. Number 1, kind heart, soft hand. Number 2, evil heart, evil hand. Number 3, evil heart, kind face. Number 4, kind heart, evil hand. The first type, kind heart, soft hand, these people often live at the lowest level, the laboring masses, simply called good people, very obedient, with honest hearts and not many schemes. Typical examples are our parents' generation, who lived in poverty their whole lives despite being diligent and sincere. Everyone, remember, with some people, if you're kind, they'll be grateful. But with others, if you're kind, they'll be rude to you. So, we shouldn't avoid being good, nor avoid being bad, but be good among good people, bad among bad people. Think carefully about this. With good people, talk about emotions. With bad people, you must use tactics. If you talk about emotions with bad people, in the end, you'll be defeated by them. The second type, evil heart, evil hand, these are the typical foolish bad people. Basically, these people are in prison or about to go to prison. Why call them foolish bad people? For example, if you like a girl, you should plan, use tactics to make her willingly fall into your net. That way, it's most beneficial for you, with the least risk and the most sustainability. But some people are foolish enough to go straight to rape, then murder, and end up with a death sentence. When you encounter such foolish bad people, you must stay far away. Don't be foolish enough to let them ask you, "What the hell are you looking at?" And you reply, "I like looking." So what? Then it's really hard to tell who's the fool between the two of you. Of course, the first 2 types aren't too concerning, because with just a glance, you can tell. People with kind hearts and soft hands won't threaten you, but they won't achieve anything great either. Foolish bad people can also be spotted right away. Unless you're their kind, then you two can slaughter each other. With these people, just stay away. As long as you avoid these ticking bombs, you're fine. The third type is more dangerous. Evil heart, kind face. Their mouths always preach morality, ethics, brotherly emotions, but inside, they're extremely dark. The more someone initially greets you warmly, talks about emotions and morality, the more cautious you must be. Those so-called emotions and morals might just be their weapons. Because their insides are so dark, they need to wrap themselves in such appearances. Reference the character Yu Buchuan from Smiling, Proud Wanderer. Truly sincere people don't need to arm themselves with such appearances. Like what we're discussing, you'll see we talk without any flowery words or fancy sentences, but we're very practical. Because we have substance inside, we don't need external appearances to polish ourselves. Of course, what I'm saying is a generalization, not absolute. There are still some people who are naturally very enthusiastic, very likable, wanting to be close right from the first meeting. This exists, but it's relatively rare. How do you distinguish these people? You must test them. 1. Test with money. 2. Test with tasks. 3. Test with time. For example, before I got married, during the dating phase with my wife, I wanted to test if this woman was suitable for marriage. Because during dating, everyone is acting. So, to know true emotions from the heart, you need to test with money or tasks. How'd I do it? At that time, I deliberately rented a very bad, small house. Then, I intentionally brought her to see the rental, saying it was to check out where I lived. Since we hadn't been together long, I was prepared. Once she saw such a tiny house, and it was shared, she'd surely run away and disappear. But the result was, I observed, she showed no dissatisfaction or reaction. Then, she cooked there, not saying a word about the house. I knew she was a very simple, kind-hearted person, not fake, and especially truly sincere with me, able to endure hardships together. After that, I decided to marry her. So, many marriages have problems because there was no testing before marriage. In business, when companies recruit talent, it's the same. Someone who comes and immediately talks about money, wanting a high salary, is basically not of real quality. Truly quality people won't immediately talk about money, but will talk more about growth opportunities. Because truly capable people are confident in themselves, so salary isn't a concern. Those who come for money will basically leave for money. Because if a competitor offers a bit more, they'll run off, and worse, might take a few of your people with them. So, those who overly value short-term benefits need caution. So, do you need to test all your relatives and friends around you once? Don't cause chaos. I'm not teaching you that. Only those you find particularly important need testing. Those who aren't particularly important don't need testing. Don't test randomly. Second, test with tasks, which means giving them a task to see if they cooperate and do it according to your wishes. Also, whether they can succeed in that task. 2 years ago, a very close classmate of mine from my hometown said that when I returned, we'd organize a party together. I went back home, and we set a time. Finally, he scheduled 6 p.m. for dinner together. I was almost at the restaurant when he called me, saying something urgent came up, he couldn't make it, truly sorry, let's meet tomorrow. Someone like that, is it worth continuing to associate with? Not necessary anymore. This incident showed that this person is very unreliable. So, using money can test your place in their heart. Using tasks can test a person's reliability. Therefore, in a company, if you want to train someone, give them some tasks to do, see if they can complete them according to your wishes. Then, give them more tasks. If they can complete tasks according to your wishes every time, then you can trust and use them. Third, test with time. There's a saying, a long road reveals a good horse. Time reveals a person's heart. So, if someone passes the money test and the task test without issues, you still need to observe them for a while longer. Anyone with fake emotions can't escape the test of time. Their true nature will eventually show. Many people we call Coca people, meaning at first contact, they seem great proper like drinking Coca-Cola, very refreshing. But don't get too excited too soon. They might just be vain, using boring tricks with everyone. After some time, their true nature starts to show, like drinking Coca-Cola. The more you drink, the blander it gets. Another type is coffee people. The first sip might not seem great, but the more you savor it, the more fragrant it becomes. Truly great people can withstand the test of time. So, when we want to use talent in a company, try to promote from those who've been with you the longest. Some companies like to use parachute troops, thinking external talent is better. This carries a certain risk. Because you've interacted with external talent for a very short time, you haven't truly understood their real face. They might just be Coca people. Truly useful people are surely those you've trained yourself. Because they've passed the test of time, they're often wholeheartedly loyal to you and the company. The fourth type, kind heart, evil hand. These are the truly formidable masters and what we need to truly cultivate to become. It's called a heart as kind as Buddha, but methods as fierce as demons. In fact, Buddha and demons, in their use of methods, are no different. The difference lies only in one thought called, one thought becomes Buddha, one thought becomes demon. This means Buddha uses methods to eradicate evil, bring peace to people, to achieve good purposes. Meanwhile, demons use methods to do evil, to achieve evil purposes. So, we understand that those with evil hearts and kind faces, their methods are extremely powerful, but they use methods to achieve their evil purposes, sacrificing others' benefits to gain benefits for themselves. These people follow the path of demons. They may have small successes in a phase, but cannot achieve great, lasting success. Because after one cycle of time, those around them will see their true nature and abandon them. Conversely, those with kind hearts and evil hands are equally powerful, but they use fierce methods to punish the bad, to achieve good purposes, meaning through other success, they achieve long-term benefits for themselves. These people follow the path of Buddha. Though their success may be slower in the short term, in the end, they'll achieve great, lasting success. Because they can pass the test of time, the people following them will grow more and more. When Buddha subdued Sun Wukong, if Buddha's methods weren't superior to Sun Wukong's, Buddha would have been crushed under the Five Elements Mountain. From this, we understand we need to nurture those with kind hearts and soft hands. Stay far from those with evil hearts and evil hands. Be wary of those with evil hearts and kind faces. Become people with kind hearts and evil hands. Be good among good people, bad among bad people.